It's a singular honor to be here and to receive this award. But rather than tell you about how grateful I am for it, and I am very grateful, we thought it would be fun to share how we think about empowering entrepreneurs and building the next wave of financial innovation. So I know, it's a little dorky, but it's what I do as a hobby. So one of the things that started me on my journey, so I've been teaching now for 18 years, and every year I try and sort of think of what can I do next, because it really is my true love. By day, I work as a financial executive, but really what I enjoy doing is working with the next generation of innovators. And one of the things that stimulates that activity is thinking about, why do we need to do this? Why do we need to innovate? It's not just innovating for innovation's sake. So there are 3.5 billion people in the world who are underbanked or unbanked. In the MENA region, 92% of the population is underbanked or unbanked. There's a tremendous amount of opportunity to help people if we can just figure out ways to innovate our systems. Part of the problem is that a lot of the systems we're using were designed for the legacy world of, you have, I don't know, 10 million customers and $1,000 average balance. And those systems are not well equipped to deal with 1 billion customers with a $10 average balance. The future is the global south. But our legacy systems are not architected to handle the demands of this world. Banking systems in general are struggling to keep up with the pace of change, whether it's on trying to fight money laundering or trying to deal with cybersecurity issues. We have over $1 trillion a year still of money laundering going on in the financial system. And this is in spite of spending more than $270 billion a year globally on compliance, on efforts to fight issues like money laundering. We're trying to bring more people into the financial system. We're trying to open more bank accounts and give people banking services and payment services. But we have to comply with KYC, know your customer, know your client regulations. It costs between $13 and $130 each time you KYC someone. So how can you have someone with an average balance of $10 and a KYC cost of $13 and hope to make a profit on that customer? We have to come up with new systems. In fact, AML KYC is now more than 20% of all the costs to run a bank. More than 20% of the non-interest operating expenses of a bank are AML KYC. The legacy systems are not keeping up with what we need to do to bring everyone into global prosperity. We have to create 600 million new jobs in the next 15 years in Africa and Asia just to avoid widespread famine. Think about that. In the next 15 years, we have to create 600 million new jobs just to keep up with the rate of population growth. So I have some good news. 4 out of 5 new jobs are created by small business. We heard a little bit tonight about efforts to innovate around small business finance. But we still have not banked 95% of the world's small businesses. This is not only a problem, but also an opportunity. There's an opportunity for growth for financial institutions to serve this multi-trillion-dollar credit gap. All right, so one of the things that I think about when trying to think about what do we do is coming up with new tools first to help solve these problems, right? So it turns out that this little device can be tremendously powerful in driving financial inclusion and financial innovation. With something like the humble mobile phone, we can build a better credit model that does not require a credit bureau, that does not require 3 years of credit history, that requires 3 weeks of data from the phone. And that credit model is 30 to 50% better than a conventional bureau model. We can, using aggregated mobile phone data, we can actually figure out the return on investment of infrastructure finance. We can project it before you start spending money on a road, a bridge, a new office complex. I hear the band warming up. I guess that's my cue to go faster. One of the other things I'm excited about is the whole world of reinventing identity. That if we apply some of these digital technologies and artificial intelligence, we can do 1,000 times better job of AML KYC. Did you know that most of the conventional AML systems that you're using today in your institutions generate an 80% false positive rate? Financial institutions have armies of people manually resolving these false positives from their AML systems. With AI, with machine learning systems, we can actually reduce that dramatically to less than 1%. And when we bring blockchain into the picture, we can reduce costs across the system by 3 orders of magnitude. Right now, there's a lot of duplication of effort. Every time someone moves institutions or opens a different account at a different institution, the whole KYC process starts all over again. But with blockchain-based AML KYC and blockchain-based identity, we now can dramatically save on those costs. So then, now that we've got these great tools, what do we do to support the innovators? Well, you know, the saying goes, if you've got a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And so, since I like to teach, I say, well, let's teach entrepreneurship. But let's do it better than just in the classroom, right? I started out teaching in the classroom, and that was fun for a while, but I realized that I can only serve 30 to 50 people at a time. How can I serve thousands of people? Well, thanks to digital technologies, we're now building a global network of entrepreneurs in over 120 countries who are driving financial innovation. So under the banner of Oxford Fintech, we've combined high-touch mentorship and coaching with the latest in digital collaboration technology to help people go through the journey, go through the arc of creating a new business plan or business strategy for innovation. We've reached over 10,000 innovators across, so we haven't held still, Myrna. We've now gone to over 10,000 innovators across our programs, which we started at MIT and then recreated and expanded at University of Oxford Said Business School. But that's not enough. We don't want to stand still. So one dimension is, what do you do after you take this great class? Well, that's where institutions like Myrna's, like Fintech Galaxy come in, where now someone who's come up with a great idea and is ready to get going can get support, expansion, and encouragement in their journey. Beyond that, though, we want to take it a step further again. And so I was very pleased to see Hans Christensen here in the audience, because for the first time ever, we're going to evolve again with a blended learning experience that we're developing together with Pearson. And DTech is going to be part of our inaugural pilot of developing a model that includes both the digital experience and scope of experts from all over the world with high-touch, in-person community development and entrepreneurship education. So for me, the reason why I do this, the reason why I teach, is to see the inspirational stories of my students where they take whatever tools or frameworks or ideas I provided them and they apply them and they build something amazing. And so I'm going to join the rest of the audience in thanking Myrna for being such an inspiration and in taking some of these ideas and carrying them to execution. Thank you, Myrna.